Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are reacting to Marvel Spider-Man 2 news series and Venom details reveal. Huge news update. Let's begin.
Into any spoilers here. And on that note, guys, spoilers are rampant and they are not welcome in our comment section, so please be cool about that. This article that we're going to be breaking down today is officially from Marvel.com. So if Marvel.com thought it was safe to release this, it's safe for us to talk about here on the channel. This article is titled Marvel Spider-Man 2 Lets Peter Parker Break Bad. It is another article by our good friend Megan DeMore, who we've been reading all sorts of articles written by Megan DeMore, so good to see this one again. Last time was a great discussion, and I'm excited to have another one this time about being bad with the symbiote suit here. This one's a fun one, right, Nick?
Yeah, it definitely is, because anytime we can get new information about Venom, about the symbiote suit and its impact on Peter and our characters that we know and love, I just can't get enough of that. So I'm so excited to dive right into this article, and I actually want to skip the first paragraph because it just kind of sets the stage and get right into the meat of this article, where it says, asked what the sequel allowed him to do with his character that he hadn't yet done before, Lowenthal gushed, "Oh, be bad. I get to be bad because I'm not bad in the game normally or in real life. I was just thrilled to show up to work every day so I could be bad." And then this continues with Najee Jeter chiming in by saying, to piggyback off that, a new Peter. This was very different for me. This was very, very different. Just being in Miles' world and just how he looks up to Peter so much. And then that switch happens and he doesn't know how to control it. To me, Andreas, the big highlight to take away from here is when Najee chimes in about Yuri talking about how he actually gets to be bad. Like, we get to see a very bad side of Peter in this game, which I think we're all expecting, because the symbiote suit is really going to just take control of his life. But he adds on the end there that when this switch happens, he doesn't know how to control it. So it really sounds like we're going to be seeing a variant of the symbiote suit that is really powerful, that is really going to overtake Peter and control him. And Peter, it sounds like, is going to do some things that he's probably going to regret later, and things that he really should not be doing, things that we would not expect a Peter Parker or a Spider-Man to be doing.
You know, Nick, it's really no secret that we're kind of looking at the behavior of this symbiote on a spectrum, and it starts when the host initially gets the symbiote, and then it finally crystallizes and meets its fullest potential when it becomes...
Spider-Man 2 is coming out next week on a Friday. And I'm excited. Today we got a preload. If you have the game, you're able to preload it to install it right away for you to get ready. Whenever the game releases, you're able to play it. And Monday we get in the embargo lift, and everyone will be releasing their reviews of the game that had the game. Caboose ready, platinum the game, ready to beat the game, and everything means his review will be coming out on the 16th. In 3 days on a Monday. And then Friday is when the game actually comes out. But the other thing is, I'm pretty sure I'm able to play it on a Thursday, on the 19th. Like, I got the game deluxe edition. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Finally crystallizes and meets its fullest potential when it becomes Venom. And we're all wondering, and I think the $1,000,000 question here is, how close is Peter going to get to being Venom, to being that fully crystallized form of the symbiote? And I think this is really key to that discussion. It's something that I'm really wondering as we're leading into this game. And it looks like they're going to push it pretty damn far, at least to the point where someone like Miles, someone who looks up to him and someone who is looking to be more like him, is going to be really challenged when he ultimately sees that Peter loses control, because we know now, at the very least, that this Pete is going to be influenced by the symbiote to the extent that he is going to lose complete control of it. Nick, I don't know about you, but that sounds like it's pretty damn close to reaching that full Venom level.
Yeah, it really is. I am very excited to see.
I'm very
and I guess a little bit concerned, because I really care about the well-being of Peter and his personal relationships and all the people around him. But I'm very excited to see how close he gets pushed to just becoming Venom. Now, of course, we don't think he's going to be Venom. We still think it's going to be Harry.
No, it
At
has
least
to
that's
be.
like the leader in the clubhouse at this point, right? Like that's the most obvious solution from any of these options. But I am very intrigued to see how much control he really does lose. Like they are making it sound like he loses complete control of himself, and that sounds like he's getting pushed to becoming just a complete version of Venom that is just violent and aggressive and does horrible, terrible things that Peter shouldn't be doing. And then we get this insight from Laura Bailey where she says, with MJ, it was fun to get to explore this conflict that she had in her relationship with Peter and the fear she felt for seeing someone as powerful as him be out of control, and then kind of realizing what that means for the relationship or for, I don't want to say anything else. I was about to give too much away. So this is a very exciting quote for me, Andreas, because we see that MJ is actually going to fear Peter in this game. We kind of got an inclination of that in some of the previous footage we've seen of this game, where it looked like MJ was almost hiding from Peter, and that appears to be the case in this game, that he's so damn powerful. Like, Spider-Man is an incredibly powerful hero, and then you add this symbiote to him, and it just takes complete control of him and really amplifies the aggression in Peter. And then you have a recipe for absolute disaster to the point where the people closest to him, the people that care the most of him, are terrified to be around him and of the person that he is becoming and what he will be able to do and will be willing to do while he has the symbiote suit.
Yeah, I think the Mary Jane question here is a great one, because I am wondering how this addiction he has is going to really impact that relationship that he has with MJ. I'm also interested to see how it impacts his relationship with Harry, because like you said, Nick, Harry is obviously the leader in the clubhouse when it comes to Venom, but really the devil's in the details with that one. I want to know how that transfer effectuates, and more importantly, we've seen that this Venom is clearly targeting Peter and things like the CGI trailer, and
But I really want to know, I mean, we will know soon when we play the game next week, but I really want to know, because I don't think Peter is Venom. Means I want to know how the hell he would get the symbiote, because somehow it got attached to Peter somehow, in some way, and I like how. I don't know how Peter's gonna take away the symbiote and stuff. I don't know. We will just have to find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Mean that this Venom is clearly targeting Peter and things like the CGI trailer, and I'm wondering where that starts. Where does the targeting attitude of this Venom specifically against Pete start? And if it is Harry, what pissed Harry off so bad that he would go
after Peter
from being best friends with this person to now wanting to destroy this person? So I'm really interested how all of that plays out here. And to go further into this article, Nick, this quote is from John Paquette, who says, in the first two games, we worked hard to make sure they were on a team, right? In this game, the team starts to splinter from within, and it really challenges them. In the first two games, they got challenged externally. They're challenging internally this time. Nick, this quote really plays into that dialogue that I was discussing earlier about how that fracture is going to happen between Pete and Harry. It also speaks directly to the conflict that is going to happen between Pete and MJ, and of course it's also factoring into that conflict that will happen between Pete and Miles Morales.
Yeah, when you take a step back and kind of assess where we are going into this game from like a higher elevation, there is a big balancing act.
Wait, I just saw something right here on the side.
Like a higher elevation. There is a
directional yank enemies. Like you're able to, I mean, we saw it already, but like you're able to throw them whenever you want.
Big balancing act that has to be done with the story of this game. You know, we're dealing with Kraven and Lizard and Venom and the symbiote suit, and then now it's going to challenge and rip this team apart internally, while they're also being challenged externally by the likes of Lizard, Kraven, and the eventual Venom, and then all of this stuff they're going to have to balance. We know Martin Lee will be making a return in some regard. There's this huge balancing act that Insomniac has with the story. It's a very ambitious story, clearly, and if there's any studio that I really trust to be able to handle this
Insomniac
is 100% Insomniac. But man, I am so excited to see how they stick the landing to this game, because it almost feels like a video game, like a one singular video game, is almost not enough to handle this complete story, even if you give it, 15, 20, 30, 40 hours. Like, this is a huge, sprawling, ambitious story that Insomniac is going to tell in this game, and I think it's going to be one of those things where, as soon as this game starts, we're going to just be on this roller coaster ride of emotion and twists and turns, and by the time we put this game down after 20 hours, it's going to be like, whoa, oh my god, like, I need to take a minute and take a breath over what I just experienced. Now, Andres, I want to actually bring it back to what you said earlier about the whole addiction side of things, because Yuri actually provides some insight about that exact thing you were talking about, where it says, additionally, Lowenthal discussed his approach to Peter's new behavior, as well as his relationship with the symbiote. We talked a lot about addiction when it came to the symbiote and to Venom, and the patterns and the behaviors of somebody who is addicted to something that is bigger than them, that is more powerful than they are. That really dictated a lot of behavior, I think, and the physicality as well just followed in lockstep with that. And it continues by saying, addiction is terrifying. Someone close to me was an addict. It was sometimes really, really weird keying into it and starting to recognize things. Like, I had breakthrough moments when we were doing it, because I'm like, I never understood this when it was happening, when he was doing it, and now I see. So it was a weird process in that respect, but I think it was the right comparison to make. Andreas, a couple things that I'm taking away from this quote, and I'll turn it over to you. One, about the whole thing where he tells us that the symbiote, Venom himself, is bigger than him. It's more powerful than him. Like, it's more powerful than Spider-Man. I think this is something we kind of knew going in, but like,
powerful.
We really are going to be facing one of the toughest challenges, if not the toughest challenge, that this version of Peter has ever faced. Like, we're dealing with something incredibly dangerous if it's more powerful than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And again, we also have Yuri going back to this whole addiction thing with the symbiote. We had him talking about this a few months ago, but that can be such a dangerous thing, and that can really rip people apart and the people around them apart when you're dealing with something as dangerous as addiction. And again, we're seeing it here that Peter, even though it's bad for him, and he probably knows it's really, really bad for him and doing bad things to the people around him, he just can't shake it. He's addicted to the symbiote for some reason. Now, of course, it seems like eventually he's going to kick that symbiote and get rid of it, and he's going to transfer to someone else, and then that becomes incredibly personal if the story follows the lines of that CGI trailer and what we're expecting, where Venom is out to get Peter.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
oh, God.
I'm just excited to see what happens for Peter to be so addicted to the symbiote. What is the catalyst that finally gets him to get rid of it? Because it sounds like it's going to have to be something pretty damn
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous.
Substantial and pretty damn bad, to be honest with you.
On that note, Nick, all of these ingredients here are kind of spelling a recipe for disaster, because I'm looking at things like Peter is becoming addicted to something incredibly powerful, even more powerful than Spider-Man. I'm also seeing things like this Peter is going to lose control. And I'm wondering, the ultimate tragedy here would be, I mean, we can all contemplate how terrible it would be if one of these friendships or close relationships, like MJ, like Rio, like we've talked about all of the different close relationships that these characters have in this game. It would
be insane if somehow, like, Symbiote Spider-Man kills Rio Morales. And that's going to be insane, but I don't think they're going to do that because it's Insomniac Games. I don't think they will aim for that direction, but, like, imagine if that happens.
It'd be one thing to lose one of those characters to a Craven, or to Venom that's, someone that we don't know. But imagine if Peter becomes so powerful and he loses control to the extent that he ends up harming someone like MJ. I think that would be the ultimate recipe for disaster here. The ultimate dramatic move, the twist that would really cause him to wake up, snap out of it, and realize, I am becoming so drunk with power here, so addicted to this, that it is hurting the ones that I love. And I think that is ultimately the final twist that is going to get him to turn over this suit. I think that, if I had to guess, is what's going to play out. And if so, Nick, how dramatic is that going to be?
Yeah, now of course, guys, we are just speculating at this point. We do not know anything about the story of this game. We've been completely avoiding the spoilers, the leaks. Like, we really do know nothing, but
Yeah.
it just really sounds like to us, based off of the interviews that we've been getting and the way the symbiote's been explained and the way Yuri talks about addiction and how powerful it is, it really does feel like it's going to take something that terrible happening, like Peter harming or maybe even killing somebody close to him, for him to shake the symbiote. I mean, that's just what it sounds like, the road that we're on, which would be, what a disaster that would be. But Andreas, I now want to shift into a more lighter topic, because we also got some exciting information and a look at some brand new suits that are coming to Marvel Spider-Man 2 earlier at a New York comic convention.
Yeah.
They revealed two
I'm not.
brand new suits, and of course Insomniac Games.
It's right there. But I'm not going to watch the whole entire thing because I already seen these suits and I don't need them to talk about it. But yeah, those are the suits. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a like video, comment, subscribe, post, notifications for the syndromes. Don't forget, Spider-Man 2 comes out next week on a Friday. I'll be posting 2 or 3 videos every single day to beat that game. Also, post notifications to know when I go live on this channel right here. Because after we beat the game, and after I platinum it, I'm gonna do the whole entire stream on this channel of playing Spider-Man 2 from start to finish. And yeah, hope you enjoy, and I'm out. Peace.